Hey everyone, welcome to the College Corner podcast. I'm your host Tatiana, and I'm here with a special guest today talking all about internships and how to take advantage of them. I'm here with Kayla Clough. She is a media producer and she also works with students on developing their reels, but she's going to tell us a little more about that as well as her internship expertise. And let's get into this brand new episode of the College Corner podcast. Welcome, Kayla. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Tatiana. This is so fun. I'm so glad I could chat with you.
I appreciate it. And we go way back to the NABJ days. For those who may not know, that's the National Association of Black Journalists. So you're up to now and what you're doing to help out students.
Sure. I work in entertainment news, and I'm also a mentor for RealWorks, which is a nonprofit organization that is not only helps students with documentaries and fleshing their own ideas out artistically, but also I'm also on the advisory council that just helps build a pipeline between underrepresented minorities that may not have had a chance to really get their foot in the door. And so I'm kind of being the connector and to not only media companies, but also giving ideas of what's going to help set these students apart and the skills that they would be great to get under the RealWorks program to just help them stand out. So that's a little bit of what I do now. And I also just, during my day job, I oversee a team of producers and editors, and I'm the assigning producer, assigning not only trending news stories, but deciding what news angles are gonna really do well for our audience, and also just what people want to talk about. So I think that's something fun that I enjoy doing, and that's just something that I guess from my internships experience to now is just something I've built on along the way.
That's awesome. I had an internship too in that arena. So that was fun learning about like how the news goes and how it works. And it really like not only that internship, but other ones that I've participated in really helped inspire the work that I do today, like interviewing people on podcasts. Yeah, so we're going to talk about your internship experience as well and all the great things that you have to share with us for our Take Stock and college students. Without further adu, let's get into it. First of all, what college did you go to and what did you study?
So I went to Hampton University. We're most known for rivaling with the real HU, but we all know who the real HU is. Like, let's be clear, it's okay. But I went to Hampton and I studied broadcast journalism. I minored in marketing and Scripps Howard. So I was a part of the Scripps Howard Journalism School. And a part of that, I got to meet so many amazing, not only friends, but just a lot of great people, like-minded people. And then the connections I got at Hampton led me to my first internship. So even though I may not have gotten an internship off that first meeting or intro, I was able to build a connection so that when the opportunity did arise, it just felt a bit more natural. So I really appreciated Hampton for that.
That's awesome. How, in your area of study, you did broadcast communications or broadcast journalism?
Broadcast journalism.
How much of an emphasis did they have on obtaining internships in your study?
A great emphasis. We couldn't graduate unless we had an internship. So in my case, I was kind of scrambling my junior year of, because you start college, you're kind of having fun, you're getting acclimated to what life was now that you're no longer in high school. Yeah. And then you kind of, for me anyway, I felt the energy of everyone else being so like on it responsibility wise and like making sure they were set up for graduating, that it kind of clicked for me. And then I was like, okay, let me, get myself together. So once that light bulb or switch went off for me was when I started really hustling in a sense. And I made sure I was like going to any seminar that had internship directors and just trying to make those connections because getting an internship is hard. Like, let's be real. Yeah. It's, especially if you don't know anyone in the industry, it's hard. And I mean, I think it might be a little bit better now. It's hard for me to know, but As you know, I'm sure you've experienced this, but if you didn't have a certain amount of experience, sometimes you couldn't even get an internship,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know? So it was really about networking in college. And I think that set me up for just my professional life, honestly.
For sure. In your opinion, Kayla, like why are internships important for college students? Why should they take it so seriously?
Because it's that first, something that I realized that no one really touches on. It's the first time that you're able to um, get a sense for a company without fully committing.
Mm,
Because we sometimes, I think when you're young and you're starting out, you kind of forget that it's a mutually beneficial relationship and you're so happy to get your foot in the door that you're not realizing they need you too, right? They
mhm.
need a fresh perspective. Like they have what works and they have their systems, but there's something that you're bringing that everyone else doesn't have. And I think that's something important for students to remember and not to fully conform themselves to what they think these higher ups want or these hiring managers want, and just bring your whole self to the internship because that's going to set you apart.
That's awesome. I definitely want to hear from your favorite internship experience. I have some favorite moments of my own, but it's about you in this episode, and it's about our TikTok and college scholars. We definitely want to encourage our students that internships are something that you do want to take advantage of and apply for early. So before we get into your favorite internship experience, I want to know, what do students need to know before they even apply for any internships this semester?
What you need to know before you apply for any internships, I think you just need to know what you want to get into. Like, what you need to, I think during that point, you can dream as far as you want. And not to say that you're going to stop dreaming, but you can really cast a net. I think I really admire people that say that they don't just kind of go with the flow of what they want to get into. They're like, I want to do this. And they figure out where they want to be. And so if you want to work for, a political news program, and you really figure out the best one you want to work for. I've heard people like not harass, but you got to really be persistent. I've heard people be very persistent of the places they want to work. And I think there was a girl from my internship class that like kind of camped out and just waited for that internship director until she really got a conversation. So I think you should really know or have an idea of where you want to be. And if you don't know, that's okay, because that's also part of the internship experience, figuring out what you want to do. But I think it does help to have a sense of what you want to do, just so people can help still steer you in the right direction. Because sometimes when you come to someone from a mentorship mentee perspective and you say, hey, I want to do this, but I don't really know, I do all these things, it's hard for that person on the other end to help you if they don't know what you want to go forward with. So sometimes, like, yes, it's good to figure it out for yourself, but you kind of do have to have a sense of a pinpoint a certain skill set or medium that you want to go into, so someone else can help you with the best path.
Yeah, for sure. And if like, even if you're just curious or you're balancing two different ideas of what major you
Yep,
really want to focus on, you can try applying for two different internships in those respective places.
I
And
agree.
yeah, and if you like it, and you're like, hey, maybe I should go ahead and major in this. Because
Yes, and
the
I think
industries are huge and they have these umbrellas, like communications is a huge umbrella. You can go to
yep.
PR, you can go to journalism, you can go to other aspects of media and new marketing that they have nowadays. So it's just, you got to give it a chance.
And I think it's nice to apply to multiple places because the more that you have to show for yourself, and the more competitive you're going to be to these companies, and they want someone that's competitive, right? Like they want, and that just goes far beyond interning. So I think when you start getting a mindset for just putting yourself out there and having your options, that's going to set you up for the future.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me more about your favorite internship. What made it your favorite, and what was probably your most memorable lesson from that time?
Sure. So I only had one internship. I interned at CBS News, and I think I had two internship options. And, I think previously I said, go for what you want to go for. And sometimes I do regret not going for what I wanted to go for and kind of starting off in entertainment, because I kind of started off in hard news, and I'm in entertainment now. So it's great. And, people go on their own paths that they want to. But if I would have been like a little bit more riskier, like I always wonder how that would have turned out. So I interned at CBS News, and I had a great experience because it's such a big network. Like, yes, I had the program that I interned in, but I was able to meet so many different people across the different news programs. So the morning show, evening news, and just meet so many, and not only just, face to face with these people that work and that are making the big decisions, but I now have friends from all these different programs.
Oh, that's wonderful. I think that sometimes like people, when they hear a news internship, oh, that sounds so flashy. That sounds fun. And and they apply for these internships in these other industries. They might feel like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna have a good time. Like, what would you say to encourage a student who's a little hesitant about applying for an internship in their field, and they're kind of like, they don't know if they're going to even like it? Like, what should they remember when they are in the application process?
Sure. I think they should remember that you make your internship what you want it to be. There's no set responsibilities, because once you showcase what you're great at, someone that's on the opposite end of kind of having an idea of what the needs are, and what they're going to be able to send you out in the field. So I have I have an example of, I used to oversee an intern for my previous employer, and I oversaw the hiring process, but also his day-to-day scope. And we initially hired him to be in the field, but when he came on, it was during the pandemic. So I was kind of worried, would he be able to do, or not even be able to do, but be happy with just not being able to showcase what he wanted to, go forward with in this internship. And, once he not only told me, but I was able to see that not only could he handle administrative work, but he was able to use his editing skills and fill in when, we had short staffing, or we just didn't have the bandwidth to just put out as much as we could. And just being able to just, that Swiss Army knife thing of just having a lot of a great skill set. So being able to write, edit, like you never know where you're going to be needed. So not only being able to say, oh, I can do this, being able to jump in too, and just like seeing what the needs are. Obviously you get a lay of the land when you first start, but definitely just being able to jump in is so, especially in a remote environment, is just so critical to helping a group of just people that are trying to get things out the door and make numbers and just push out really great products, honestly.
Yeah, that is so true. You just gotta get in there and try and be flexible, because sometimes we go in wanting to do one thing, it turns into something else, because interns can end up doing like a bunch of different tasks that we weren't privy to before.
And it's not, I don't know the coffee world, but it's the whole coffee, like it's not coffee in news. Like you're hitting the ground running, where whatever you felt like this was in college, it's like 100 times faster than that, honestly. And I think that's something you got to think about too. It's speed. We're not, a lot of these projects, you're not going to be able to like, oh, I'll start on this and I'll finish tomorrow. Like, no, you have to, the turnaround. So being able to be efficient and great is so vital.
That's so true, especially in news. But, I would apply that honestly to any other industry.
Absolutely.
Definitely make that good impression on those who are like watching you. And like a lot of people are watching you more than you think, especially your supervisor. What would you say would get in the way of a student having a successful internship experience? Like we talked about some of the successful things that they can do, but what can get in the way of them having a good experience?
I think what could get in the way of a successful internship experience is having a bad attitude. Something that I just know is across the board is you want to work with someone you like being around, and you want everyone else to enjoy working with them too. So not only just a positive attitude, but being able to collaborate, being a team player. So if you're just very me, that's not going to work because we're all working together. Everyone's, just you have to be able to jump in when just something else happens. It's a summertime, so people are on vacation, you're short staffed. There was an instance this past week where I had to finish, I'm normally an assigning producer and just overseeing the product until the end, but I, ended up finishing writing the script because I knew our other producers were busy. So I think being able to show that you're a team player, have a good attitude, because if you don't have those, it's unlikely that you're going to stay within the team, honestly.
Remember to take notes, take stock in college. Let us know what your favorite takeaway so far from this episode is with us on social media, or you can drop it here in the comments on YouTube. So I wanted to know, like, in this economy that we're in right now, is a lot of uncertainty. Maybe students are a little apprehensive about not only getting a job, but getting an internship. Is it possible? Like, what are the chances that an intern can obtain a job at the same place that they intern at?
It honestly depends on the company. And something that I think is important to keep in mind when you're interning is I think you should keep in mind how much work you're getting, because if you notice that it's slow, there's a chance they're not going to hire you back. So in addition to your skill set, you really, and it's just, that's important for you to think of, do I want to work with this company? Am I doing everything? Am I doing everything that I would enjoy doing in a full-time role? Are other people doing things that I would want to do? But aside from that, it's really just kind of getting a sense of the work, because then you're going to be able to tell how well the company's doing by how much work you're getting. Because if you're really busy, that's a great thing. But at the same time, you need to make sure that you're not going to suffer from burnout. So there's a thin line to walk with that, for sure.
Okay, that's good to know. Is there any recommendation on how, like, a student should keep in touch with their previous employer with the internship? Let's say they're a junior, they're not ready to graduate yet, but they're now looking for jobs in their spring semester, senior year, and now they're ready. So how can they, like, reach back and say, hey, are you guys open? Like, what's up?
I think just keeping in touch, just like you would keep in touch with anyone, not too aggressive, but just in a way of, hey, letting people know what you're up to. I just finished my semester. Let people know what you've been working on, because that also gives people an idea of what they could use you for. And then, just let them know that you're available for work, and then they'll keep you on top of mind for when that opportunity arises. Because that happens all the time. I'll be in meetings and there's projects coming down the pike, and my boss or my former boss will say, hey, so-and-so reached out that they're available. So it's someone that I can keep in mind of what I book them for future. But also that depends on how did we feel about this person when they interned with us? Did we like them? Well, would we bring them back? So that all goes into play. But overall, just keep a good line of communication open, and that's just across the board.
All right, that's networking 101. Take stock in college scholars. Keep in contact with everyone, especially your previous employers, fellow students you may have interned with, someone in another department. I always encourage students to ask questions. Always have a new list of questions ready, and you can ask other people, maybe not in your department that you're assigned to, but maybe another department. You want to learn as much about the company from people who work there, because they're there for a reason. Either they like it there or they just there for a check. You won't find out either way. So we thank you so much, Kayla, for your time. I just wanted to know, like, from now that you are a working professional looking back at your experience as a college student and intern, like why do you want to help college students today? And what are you doing to help college students?
Sure. I mean, I just want people to know what I didn't know. And I think that's just how you think as you get older, and you just want to make it easier for whoever's coming behind you. And you just want to make sure that they had those resources you didn't. And I think for now, what I see in this young generation of media professionals, everyone's starting off making more money. They're really in there. If they're not only interning in the places where they really enjoy being in, but they're getting jobs that they really enjoy being in. And there's not a lot of nitty gritty as much anymore. And like, yes, that's going to happen. You're going to have to put in the work, but at least it's an enjoyable experience is from what I'm seeing, just on the outside looking in. But just being able to give back and just help in any way I can, it's just something I appreciate doing, because people help me. You know, I wouldn't be where I'm at if someone didn't take a chance on me. So I think it's all about being able to just take a chance and just be available when people just need an ear or advice, because it costs me nothing to do that, you know? So that's just something I keep in mind going forward.
Thank you again. How can we get to know more of what you're doing? What are your work? Is there anything that you want to share for the Take Stockton College student audience?
Sure. Yeah, they can check out my website at kaylajanelleclough.com. You can also follow me on LinkedIn. My name on LinkedIn is Kayla Clough, and just feel free to keep in touch.
Okay, we love it. Thank you, Kayla Clough, so much for your experience and internships and giving us that sound advice and that reminder to not only go the distance and actually like be flexible, be proactive, be ready, and just be ready to also keep in touch as well when you're done with your internship. We got to take advantage of this opportunities because there's jobs out here, there's careers to be made, and it starts pretty much while you're in college. So why not get started this semester and start applying for places that you're considering? If you want to get more information on how you can take advantage of your upcoming internship or get some more internship tips, we're going to put Kayla's information on Take Stock Connect. So make sure you tune in for that. And until next time, thank you for listening to the College Corner podcast, where we offer you success tips for college, career, and life. And hopefully we'll see you in your next internship. Bye.